Oh, God, don't even. Yeah.
All set? Now call the meeting of Corbin County, Florida Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and pledge of allegiance.
Father, we thank you for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room, as well as the lives that we encounter afterwards. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently, for only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Your first item is the approval of the minutes of the Salary Board meeting held December 1st, 2022.
Move to approve.
You say salary board, Commissioner.
Planning Commission.
Salary Board. We open with Salary Board.
Oh, you open the salary board. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Move to approve.
I thought we were gonna get these out of the way. Okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Second.
Oh, second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning salary board business at this time? Hearing none, move on.
The report of executive sessions held?
There was one held on December 16th, 2022, 9 a.m., December 19th, 2022, 9 a.m., December 19th, 2022, 1 p.m., December 21st, 2022, 8:45 a.m., December 22nd, 2022, 11:20 a.m., December 23rd, 2022, 9 a.m. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call on the President Judge to go first to.
Point of order. Point of order. One, the agenda is set. Two, second point of order. According to Senate Bill 554, signed by the governor on August 2021 in regards to notification of agency business to be considered. If we have a website or otherwise, agendas must be published 24 hours prior, which includes a listing of each matter of agency business. The fact is, the agenda that was posted failed to include the exhibits, which were a critical and essential part, and but for all intent and purposes, part of the agenda. The preponderance of the motions on the agenda, 37 of 55, include detailed information that is provided to the public for review. It is only reasonable that the motions that indicate per exhibit should likewise be available to the public 24 hours prior, as precedence is set that the exhibit information is inherent to the agenda.
When was that passed?
That was August 2021. We're all familiar with that, and actually our own actions preceded that.
So, last year, it wasn't done last year in 2021 for that year. If it was passed in August, for 21, it was not done.
Right, we failed to comply with Act 554 as signed by the governor.
I don't,
Well, if I may interject, the act that you're referring to does say that the agency shall post the agenda, which includes a listing of each matter of the agency business, which may or will be or may be the subject of deliberation of official action at the meeting. So the question is whether exhibits are required to be included in part of the agenda. Now, if you actually go to the Office of Open Records, there's a frequently asked questions section that pertains to the Sunshine Act, and it says that the agenda should include all issues to be deliberated on and any planned official action such as votes. So I do believe that the agenda meets that requirement. Now, the exhibits themselves are proposed pre-deliberative material. That's my understanding of this. And they could change at any time before the meeting, and in fact, they could be amended during the meeting. So we'll just have to agree to disagree.
Right, that's good, Bob. Thanks for your reading on that,
Well,
Bob.
to begin with, you know, every year since I've been here, the courts have always gone first. And who told HR to change it, I have no idea. I didn't even realize it was changed, because when we got the agenda and everything, I don't really look at the agenda, I look at the exhibits, the study exhibits who were voting on, until a little bit later last week, is when I noticed that why isn't the courts up front like they normally are?
I believe there was an email trail going, and it was determined that that decision was made during an executive session.
Yeah, and I saw we did have a discussion on that to change it. I don't,
So who instructed them to do that? It was a discussion, according to the email that I received, was discussion.
well, I think our discussion would have been in the executive session.
And resulted in a decision.
Regardless, let's move forward.
A negative, point of order. You can't modify the agenda without a motion to have that agenda modified.
Will there be a decision made in executive session? That's the question I think the parliamentarian has to answer.
Well, no official action can be taken in an executive session, so, no.
What you're suggesting is that the agenda was set in executive session, which is official action.
Agendas can be set. Agendas are set in other than public meetings.
Okay, well, I'm going to go to Robert's Rules of Order here, section 41, and I'm referring to the 10th edition. Just in relevant part, unless a pre-circulated agenda is formally adopted at the session to which it applies, it is not binding as to detail or order of consideration.
So what would have been the reason to begin with to move the courts to the end? Give me a good reason why you wanted that to occur.
I don't know if it would have been because we figured it might have taken longer and just given them the precedence to come in and leave, you know, instead of, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's how I think it was done in the past. But I don't know what the issues are here, because there's one motion made and all the other ones have several motions, which is under this, what is it, appendix, whatever, what do we have for them?
Exhibit on the
Or exhibit. So I don't know, did it look like it was less there than what the other ones were? I mean, and like I said, it was in the past, and I think I live in the present. I don't live in the past.
Your reason?
If I supported that particular agenda arrangement, it was for strategic reasons, which a part of my strategy, which I would not divulge as I work towards supporting the best interests of the citizens of Carbon County.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Let's move forward, Your Honor.
Point of order. Then how is
Okay,
the agenda
I'll
going
make
to
a
be laid
motion
out?
to amend the agenda to move the courts up to number 5.
I'll second that.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Motion fails.
Okay. Any comments, Your Honor?
Well, I'm not as conversant with Robert's Rules of Order as Attorney Crickman is, he apparently has in front of him. I was always under the belief that the chairman sets the agenda initially. I don't know if it's part of the formal decision. I think Attorney Rickman mentioned that it had to be set formally at the meeting. So it appears as though we're not gonna have any meeting if it's gonna be a 2-2 vote throughout this entire session, which seems unfortunate. I do know that at least every time I've been here before, the court has always been recognized initially, which was a courtesy to a separate branch of government as compared to separate offices. Apparently, this board does not want to extend that courtesy to the court any longer, which is unfortunate. I think Commissioner Arner's comment that the court's agenda is shorter than the others is realistically not true, that there are more positions on this agenda that are going to have to be decided on behalf of the court than any other department or office here. And I suspect it may come down to motion after motion after motion for every position. So I think the court probably will take some extended time to go through this. Like I said, this is the first time I can recall in history of this county that the court has not been offered the courtesy of being able to go first.
Question, why wouldn't the courts, since they are a voting member of the salary board, have a vote in that?
In,
When
Setting
amending
the agenda?
well, I don't
The court isn't a sitting
I don't
member of
think
the salary
the
board.
agenda has been formally adopted. I think it's just a guideline at this point. As I say, and I don't take a position for or against, but I'm just telling you what Robert's Rules of Order say, is that it's not binding as to the order.
Does Robert's Rule of Order have a default position as to if the members of the board cannot agree on an agenda? Which appears to be where it's going.
I honestly, at this point, I don't know if it's just chairman's privilege or if that requires a formal motion. That's something that I would have to research.
So I would just suggest that the board would follow the practice that's been established by this board for years. I can't tell you how many years.
I think, initially, go ahead.
Obviously, is a strategic move on behalf of my counterparts to disrupt this voting of the elected officials and of the courts, to try to change things to their advantage. Just because they're going last, there is no reason why you can't vote what you want to vote on any of the row offices or courts under the commissioner's offices.
I would offer if a citizen in Carbon County would want to come to this meeting, yeah, I'm going to withdraw that. I'll save that.
So I believe at this point, it comes down to the parliamentarian's decision as to whether Robert's Rules of Order in the face of a deadlock permits the chairman to set the agenda for the meeting. I don't know the answer, I'm asking a question.
And as we sit here right now, I do not know the answer. That's certainly something I could look at, but,
I see no motive other than to interrupt the process of our annual salary board for one's own liking and total disrespect for the courts and the rest of the row offices. I'd like to move forward with the courts.
Well, I'd like to move forward with two, but I don't want to have someone question the entire validity of the meeting.
Well, I think we need the parliamentarian
I
to
think
rule.
that-
I agree, yeah. And so, I'd make a recommendation,
okay, Now, I'm looking at section 41 regarding organizations and meetings in which adoption of an agenda is customary. It is customary to adopt an agenda or program for each session in organizations whose business sessions are separated by more than a quarterly time interval. And at conventions and other sessions which may last for several days. So it doesn't appear that the agenda must be formally adopted under these circumstances, since this is a board that meets monthly. Again, I have no motive here. I'm just reading directly from Robert's rules. So
So does the interpretation appear to be then that the chairman sets the agenda for the meeting when they meet monthly?
that's the only implication that I can take from this.
Okay.
So then if it's okay with the chairman, I would go first.
We will move forward with the courts.
Okay, thank you. So first, I do hope that every one of you has had a happy Merry Christmas. And I hope you all have a happy Merry New Year. I know the first motion on the agenda of the courts involves the adoption of kyekgqD8jPI as revised by the courts. I think it's important to offer some preparatory comments to make more understandable that motion when made. As I believe every member of the salary board knows and understands, the Board of Commissioners on December 8th of last year handed out a salary scale or chart, and they adopted that, and it consisted of 2 pages. And it's my understanding that that scale that was adopted by the board was not the same scale that was recommended by Evergreen, the agency who was employed by the board to prepare the salary study. I also know that at that meeting, the Board of Commissioners, not the salary board, but the Board of Commissioners, gave a handout in which it apparently suggested where the positions of each employee for each office should be placed on that salary scale. It's my understanding and my belief that the intent of having a salary study done was, number one, to do an objective fair evaluation of all salaries within the county, to see that the employees of this county are being fairly compensated. That obviously entails outside survey. I understand in having, I believe, an executive session with the commissioners, that the survey that was done by Evergreen in this case consisted of surveying, or at least attempting to survey, 25 counties. They included the immediate adjacent counties to Carbon County, and they included, at least from what I've been told, 6 class counties. I also understand in some of the material that we subsequently received that not all the counties who were approached and requested for information provided information. I do not know, for those who did respond, whether the information they gave was based on 2022 salaries as compared to 2023, which we're here to adopt today. I know that Commissioner Lukasevich said that some of those counties already had built-in cost of living increases. I don't know what percentage, what number of those counties had built-in cost of living increases. So I don't know how fair and objective the, quote, outside survey was to set fair compensation for employees in this county. I believe, and I hope that everyone on the salary board agrees, that the employees of this county are the most important, significant asset that this county has. And I think it's important and critical that they be fairly compensated and that we do everything we can to maintain employment. The second, I think, objective of the survey, the wage study was not only to do an objective external compensation, but an internal equity among employees within the county, so that employees within the county are treated fairly relative to one another. The handout that the commissioners gave on December 8th, which again was handed out with the scale, has been studied by myself and my court administrator, Ms. Ham. And I've come to the belief and opinion that there are many inequities in that scale internally. For instance, the scale does not take into account the appointments that have been suggested by the commissioners, does not take into account the number of years that employees have served with this county or in their position. In several instances, and I can point, for instance, to Secretary ones in the magistrate's office, we have people who are going to come to that position today, stepping in one day, and they're going to get $14.33 an hour. We have people who have been in that position for 3 years, for 6 years, who are going to get $14.33 an hour. To me, that's a slap in the face to an employee who has served here for 3 or 6 years to say they are given no recognition for their service in this county. They will be treated the same as someone who steps in the door today. I think that's an internal inequity. On a number of occasions, grades have been set, and at least within the courts, there are various positions such as administrative assistants, technicians, specialists, where they do the same type of work, and according to the handout given by the commissioners on December 8th, they are not given the same grade. I don't know why. I know that in one of the meetings I had with the salary board, they said, well, this was based upon the job descriptions, that not everyone in the same type of job does the same type of work. I can accept that when we're talking internally within an office. So I understand that a administrative assistant in one county office may do something different than an administrative assistant in the courts. But within the courts, the administrative assistants basically do the same type of thing. And I'm specifically referring at this time to the administrative assistants, referring to Kristen Leffler, Sherry Snyder, and Sarah Scherer, where for some reason, Ms. Snyder, according to the handout, was given a grade of 3A, whereas the other two were 5, a grade of 5. And I know, in speaking with my court administrator, I've been assured that the type of work Ms. Snyder does is the same type of administrative work that the other two do. There should be no distinction in the grade that those individuals are given. So after studying, what was handed out, and I should say as well that after receiving that information, we had a executive salary board meeting. I believe that is one that was scheduled on December 19th, 2022. Prior to that meeting, we had requested some additional information. Of course, had requested some additional information as to how these surveys were done, what information was received, how choices were made as to where people should be given. And we were given some information. I'm not trying to diminish that. We were given some information. And we carefully studied that. And that prompted a lot of questions. It was helpful in many respects, but it prompted a lot of questions we had. So we did have an executive session on December 19th in the morning. And I appreciate the commissioners arranging that and allowing that. And I think we met for 2 hours, or approximately 2 hours. And I believe everyone will recognize who was at that meeting that the court had a number of questions as to how this consultant had done things. We asked a number of questions. And I know to the extent, I believe to the extent that the participants in that meeting had the answers they provided them. But in many instances, they did not have the answers to the questions we were asking. I'm not saying that anyone refused to give answers that they knew. I think they honestly didn't recall, or they didn't know the answers. I know that at one point, one of the participants had said they had a brain dump and could not recall everything they were told by everybody, because they had been told that months earlier, and that they did not want to misrepresent things that were told. And I understand that. I'm not even arguing that point. And I believe the suggestion was made, well, maybe we can get a meeting with Evergreen to perhaps answer some of the questions the court, and perhaps others have. Commissioner Lukasevich arranged such a meeting, but it was given very short notice. And I'm not being critical of the shortness, I'm just making a comment, it was given very short notice. The meeting was held on December 23rd, actually when a storm was coming, because as the county will recall, the court left out, the county left out at 11 a.m. I only learned of the meeting the day before, around noontime. I believe that notice of the meeting had been given at about sometime after 4, the day before, by email, but I didn't receive anything until the next day. And my secretary, who receives all my email, happened to be, that was a personal day off for her, so I learned about it maybe around 12 or 1 o'clock. I don't recall the exact time. And unfortunately, I could not make a meeting on the 23rd in the morning because I was committed to court hearings for protection from abuse hearings. And I, in fact, was in court most of the morning, at least up until 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I had contacted attorney, keep on saying attorney, I apologize, Commissioner Lucas, and said, I appreciate you're arranging a meeting. I can't be there. I would have loved to have been there. I have a number of questions I'd like to have asked and answered, but I can't be there. I know my court administrator did attend. And unfortunately, that same day that that meeting was held was also the date that we were told at the Executive Salary Board meeting on the 19th that we had to have our requests in to the county. That you needed those, I guess, to put them on the agenda to have them advertised. So it was clear that having a meeting in the morning was not going to give us time to adjust anything we submitted. So I say that in part because what we're suggesting here had to be done very rapidly. I believe the commissioners had the information from Evergreen by the end of September, at least according to my understanding from prior meetings and discussions by the commissioners. But we only got it literally within days before we had to have our submission, if we even had that much time. So we did the best we could, and we tried to create, we accepted in large part what Evergreen has determined for outside studies, and we tried to create internal equity in the submission. And so that then led to a revised submission that we had, which I'd like to now make a motion, excuse me for the coughing, to adopt and to compensate the employees in this county as listed on exhibits J1 through J6 as revised by the court.
Second.
I'd like to have a discussion on that. And, I mean, I'm just like, we're changing the agenda, which if that's how it happens, but I think we always went how the agenda was set up. And it doesn't matter to me where we start on the agenda. I'm gonna say the same thing about every department. And I was involved in this from the beginning, and I just might have a different view than somebody else has. You know, and I did not have a strategic move to try to set things up. Like I said, I can comment on every one of them. If somebody wants to move up and move another one up, I'm fine with it. But I prepared like a little statement for myself. During this whole salary study process, I heard we can't retain employees with such a low pay rate, and employees are not compensated throughout the scale. I agree wholeheartedly with that. The adopted scale and proposed salaries included minimum wage was increased from $11.38 to $13, raising the bar for all. Placing employees on an appropriate grade and step in accordance with their current job description through the new scale. The new scale has started wages, positions that gained money through attrition. And what I'd like to explain a little bit, like I think Judge, you were talking about, if somebody leaves, if they're making $20 an hour, they might be backed off to 18 for a new employee coming in. And the county gains money through attrition through that. And that goes into the general pot that we can give decent raises for people instead of paying somebody the same amount that somebody left. I mean, for example, like if an employee would retire or leave, some of the scales, if they would go back to step A, many positions could generate on an average $5 an hour. putting $9,100 back into the fund to make yearly increases beneficial to the budget and the taxpayers. Now, I took an average of it because if you'd be at that P and go back, it's probably $3. If you'd be at the top one, it'd be $8. So I used $5, so I don't need anybody contradicting me that I was wrong about that. So I'm trying to explain to everybody. The salaries at the proposed rate were incorporated in the 2023 budget. If the proposed rates are not accepted and any of the proposed salaries are changed, it will cause a domino effect across the scale that could cause a massive tax increase. And what could happen here, there could be people that are put, they were put on the step according to this where they were supposed to be. So if one person is moved, next thing, the person below him wants to be moved up, the next person wants to be moved up, and then we're gonna wind up being in this $2.7 million deficit, I think that somebody brought up before, that's gonna cost. From the beginning, my thoughts were that this would be a two-step process. I was pretty adamant on that's what it was. The first year, to place employees on the scale according to 2023 wages. The second year, to correct any discrepancies and work on a fair wage increase to all employers and the taxpayers. Throughout today's agenda, I see salary increases or decreases and increases up to $6,000 without justification according to the job descriptions. Are we paying for the position or the person? I understand employees got minimal or no increases at all. That is my concern. I hear about it all the time. It is terrible that a person gets a 2-cent raise. But I never tell any departments what to do. So now my question is it my fault that the job descriptions were not changed to reflect your employees' compensation? And then I'm gonna say to everyone, and like I said, I've been trying to get this, that people get compensation what they should. And it doesn't matter if they're at the $13, the $15, $23, or $30. If we don't start somewhere, we're gonna be right back to the same thing again, and everybody's gonna be back to $11 an hour, and then we're gonna sit here again and say, okay, we can't hire anybody. And I understand, maybe the person at $33 an hour, maybe they should get 37. I don't know. But according to their job description, what we went through, that's what they're paid. I can't say anything else. And it's like I said, I wasn't in charge of anybody's job descriptions. This has been going on for a year and a half, and there were people coming in and had job descriptions changed here and there. But as far as I look at it, that's what their pay is. And if there's some that dropped out, that counties weren't incorporated in it, but we got our counties from surrounding, and that's what it came up with. And the benefit would be that all the job descriptions would be changed. Then we could give everybody up through the scale the appropriate salary, what they should. Now we're just guessing at it. When we come into the salary board, we look at it, this one here, I think, yeah, they should be up maybe 2 steps. We don't have the knowledge of that. We're making it worse. And if we don't accept this study, then we're not accepting that it is bad. Like everybody thinks that this is bad, the study. So then I don't want to hear anything next year or this coming year that I can't hire anybody, I can't do this. Then what we should do is accept this and move forward and have these job positions changed. That's the only way this is going to be corrected. This has been a system like this for 30 years, and it's time to correct it. It's time to correct it through everybody through the scale. Like I said, Judge, there could be people there that should be making $40 an hour. I don't know. But according to what we got, that's what it is. And if somebody wants to come in and start, and there's a proper process to do this. You go through it if we're going to have an outside source or we're going to have HR doing it. You revise what your job description is, bring it in, we'll discuss it, and it might be that we can have them salaries up to that rate. But I don't see anybody here that ever did something like that. Throughout the year we had some, but to do this at this point of where, like, this was wasted money and it was wasted time of everybody putting into this. And I think it comes out like, oh, we put the people from $11 up to 13. That was not the point. It was to get everybody on the proper scale and change their job description. And I'm willing, like, if this don't get accepted, but to me, if it does, I'm willing to have anybody come in here or go to present your job descriptions and change it. But it's not gonna change until we change the job description, because we're gonna go through the whole year again. We won't change job descriptions, and next year we'll be arguing about the same thing identically again. We might as well just take a copy of this meeting and just do the same thing at the next meeting. It's gonna continue and continue, and we'll never straighten the salaries out.
So part of the problem, I believe, is that the job study that was employed by the county, the results of that study were not followed by the county and what they adopted, as they indicated at the outset. The Evergreen came back with a schedule scale. That's not the scale the county commissioners adopted on December 8th. The county commissioners, for reasons peculiar to them, decided to shorten the number of steps. They decided to shorten the number of grades. They condensed the scales. And then, somehow, someone decided to put in those scales every job position. It came out on December 8th, which is here where we think you should be. That's part of the salary board. That's why you have a salary board, because the full function of a salary board is to set the number of positions and the compensation. The salary board had absolutely no input into who got put where on that scale. The whole objective was to circumvent the salary board, which to me is wrong. But that's what that was. Now, what else didn't they do? The study that was done by Evergreen, according to some of the materials we had received, Evergreen had given the county various implementation options. The very lowest implementation option, according to what I was provided, was to bring to a new minimum the closest step. And according to, again, the information provided by Evergreen, to implement that new minimum was going to cost $812,283.19. And I was told at one point in one of these meetings that the county was going to be appropriating close to $800,000 to do this. Figures may have changed, I'm not sure. According to Evergreen, on what they submitted, they said the average percent of adjustment if this new minimum was implemented would be 7.8%. That's the average adjustment, the average increase. I understand fully why the county wants to increase those at the lower end of the scale. I understand that. It's justifiable. I think that also in Evergreen study, they came up with the fact that 80% of the employees in this county are below the mid-average under their survey, which is deplorable, which explains why we're constantly losing employees. I believe within the last year, the county has somewhat in excess of 400 employees. You've lost over 100, 25% turnover in a year is, again, deplorable. The study was needed. The study was justified. But it seems to me the study should be then implemented in accordance with the recommendations, because in effect, the county commissioner is saying, well, we spent $48,000 to do a study from what we believe is a reputable outfit. We believe, we hope, they got credible comparables and brought that in, and they reviewed it to come up with their survey, come up with their recommendations, but the commissioners decided not to follow that. Now, I understand, what you're saying when you say about attrition. That makes sense. We're not talking about attrition in some of the internal equities that I'm talking about. We're talking about people who are in positions now. They work their way up from the lower ranks, and they've been here for years. In some cases, they've been here for 28 years or more, and they've been at a higher range. A lot of those people were given absolutely no percentage increase. We all know the rate of inflation has been historically high. I believe that even conservatively, we can say it's been 7%. I've heard other numbers. I know that Social Security is giving 8.7% increase because of cost of living, because they understand a decrease in purchasing power by people who are on Social Security. I know state employees have been given 7.8% increase. I suspect other retirees have been given increases cost of living, which is justified in light of inflation. With absolutely no increase, what you're telling these people at the higher end of the scale is not only are you not keeping them up with inflation, you are decreasing the value of what they're receiving. In reverse, someone who doesn't get an increase to keep some kind of parity with inflation is getting a 6.5% decrease in the effective purchasing power of their wages. To me, that's unacceptable. To say to someone who's been here 28 years, not only are we not going to give you an increase, we're going to decrease your purchasing ability by 6.5%. That, like I say, is one of these internal inequities that is being created by what has been handed out in those suggestions of where people should be placed. I understand it's going to cost money. I understand we were all here at a salary board meeting either in August or September, in which the salary board, number of salary boards, including the courts, asked for a 6% increase. That passed, and but for the commissioners who decided not to fund it, it didn't occur. So again, Evergreen, their percentage increase overall was going to be at 7%. The 6% was justifiable and makes sense. It wasn't funded. So the commissioners knew back as long ago as August or September that different departments were looking for a 6%. And they had more than enough opportunity. I believe we were told at that time, the money's not there, the money's not there. We can't give it to you. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I can only accept what I'm being told by the Board of Commissioners. But we know you had 4+ months to make arrangements to have the money there, to bring equity not only externally, comparative with surrounding competition, but internally. And for reasons that are, again, particular to the county commissioners, you decided not to generate those funds. I don't know, as I'm speaking now, if the budget that was passed by this Board of Commissioners, if it has allocated sufficient funds, dedicated sufficient funds for the salaries that are even being suggested by that handout on December 8th. Maybe it is, I don't know. It appears as though monies are always placed into a contingency and that the amount of salaries that are passed are not fully appropriated. And so there's not even any earmarks in contingency that this is going to be dedicated to salaries. So again, as I'm speaking now, I don't know if the salaries that were suggested by the board on December 8th have even been fully funded, if the budget has allocated full 100% funding for those salaries. And maybe you know the answer to that.
I can tell you right now, it is.
So-
There's
so
money there
I'm
for that.
talking, has the budget been allocated? I'm not saying, has it been allocated to earmark for those
I
salaries,
think we
100%
did
funded?
because, yes,
Yeah,
there,
that's good, I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. In the past, I don't believe it has been, so
yeah,
I'm glad that
and
they're.
the money for that is allocated. And I said, going back to it, I mean, people are looking at different ways here, and this was to correct the salaries and bring them up to where they should be. If the county would have had an additional 6%, I wouldn't have had no problem, because like, I think this morning, Judge, even in your talk this morning, that the people are valuable. I think all of our employees are valuable, but I also look at the taxpayer. I mean, we don't have 6% extra to give that. And like what I'm proposing here, I think these should still be accepted and try to correct what we have. And I said, I don't think, you know, and you talk about the percentage, whatever, you know, if it's 9% or 8.9, there's a lot of people out there that are taxpayers that might only get $1,000 a month. They can't afford an extra $200 on their taxes. So I think for us, we have to balance both ways. We have to balance the taxpayer, and we got to balance the way that we pay or compensate our employees. And I said, there's a lot of things in here where I see, and there's some in this agenda that I agree with. We're getting rid of 2 positions or 3 positions and creating another job. And I think everybody in this room knows that I do not like part-time positions, because you're not gonna get people to come here part-time and not have benefits. That's a lot of it what they want. And I like them things that's in an agenda. There's a lot in here that works with the salary and correct over the next year. And I'm going back to it. If we don't accept, and I'm telling you, that money is in there, that was proposed, that the commissioners send out, that money is there. Then people are not gonna lose that money, nobody, and move on. If this is passed, then we start tomorrow trying to correct these. Like, why are we sitting here arguing over something if I'm right or you're right? You know, it just, and I understand where you're coming from, and I still go back to it. We had a broken system, and we gotta fix it, and this is the start.
I don't disagree that the system needed to be studied. I really don't disagree with that. Like I said, and I don't want to be repetitious, because this meeting's been
No.
long enough the
Yeah.
way it is. But I think I was told in one of our meetings that this is phase one of a three-phase implementation. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I think that's what we were told.
And what I would want, like, I mean, I don't wanna cut you off, but like for this year, we allocated, say, 800,000. For next year, I would want 600,000, that we could have people and have people up to the proper wage that they should be at. And I might be pretty bold on saying that, and I can risk, like I said, I'm not here politically, I'm here to correct things correctly. I'm not running for, you know, trying to run for commissioner for next year. I wanna do it right, and if it comes to it, and I'm saying we need 600,000. When this first all started off in May, I went into our account and I said, what do you think? I said, I figured this all out, it's 800,000 for this year and 600,000 for next year to correct it where the people, and on my scale. And my scale, people are higher than what's on this. I can tell you that.
But if, and I'm just accepting what you just told me, if you dedicated 800,000 this year, you were literally 12,000 away from what Evergreen was recommending under their minimum. And you decided not to adopt that minimum. And again, that was gonna give, on average, a 7.8% increase to the employees of this county. If there is a three-phase-in projection.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, I just heard what you said, that you're perhaps thinking 600,000 should be dedicated next year. I would think that it would have been better to gradually phase in across the board to give everyone some understanding of benefits of the phase-in, and to announce and to put out what those phases are, so that people know in advance, well, maybe I'm not gonna get everything in phase one, but I see in phase two it's coming, and in phase three it's gonna be completed. Right now, there is no comfort, there is no assurances that phase two and phase three will even be implemented or funded. And I'm not trying to be critical, it's gonna be a different board, maybe the same people, I don't know, but it's gonna be a different board
Yeah.
next year. We don't know if phase two and phase three will be in there. But phase one is implemented, like I said, it may be objectively fair, I don't know, because I don't know all the information that Evergreen took into account. But internally, it's created, I think, some truly egregious problems. And what is at risk here is to help people at the low end. The people who are the most experienced, the most knowledgeable, the most trained are the ones who are being stepped on and are not given fair compensation, and we may be seeing some of them leave. I hope we don't, but we are risking that. We are risking basically the age experience of our county employees from leaving, and then where are we gonna be? We're gonna be in a heck of a bad shape, because it took years and years to train them and educate them to know their jobs. And those people can leave at a moment's notice. I know, for instance, just in court reporter, the study that Evergreen came back with said they are 4.8% below the peer. That's 4.8, we didn't even bring them up to the peer. In fact, in court reporters, nothing was given to them under this proposal. So it's, I'm critical, I'm sympathetic with your objective of getting fair pay because it has to be done, but I'm critical of the way it's being done, and that's why I'm saying, you know, Ms. Hammond and myself spent hours, literally hours, going through information we provided, and we had to get additional information as we went along, and much of it, I believe, was provided. I'm not sure we had all of it, and I'm not being critical by saying that, but it took the county apparently 2 months to evaluate the information, to come out with a wage scale. We were given a week or two to come up with it. What we've come up with, I don't believe is ideal. I believe it probably has to be changed, but it's the best we could do with the short time we were given. And I think, I'm convinced in my mind, it's much more fair and equitable overall.
And I think with even, I don't know if you took notice, like last week, we actually made it that the budget is gonna be adopted before the election. So I think that's a move forward. And like I said, I'm not gonna change my mind to get to that next step. I mean, and, I don't think I can say much anything else, but,
No, no,
yeah.
and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have earlier discussions on the budget.
yeah,
But keep in mind, I mean, for the budget for this year,
yeah,
the board properly surveyed each department, and they said, what are your budgetary requests? And I believe everyone gave you what we thought we needed. You know, the courts did. And I said this earlier, we did not pad our budget, we did not inflate our budget. We put in our budget what we thought was necessary and justifiable to keep the courts functioning. So there was a budgetary meeting we had, and then we answered, I think, all the questions that we were asked by the commissioners as to why our budget is what it is. And then within a week or two after that, we get a budget put out by the county that basically decreases court administration by 25% in budget. We were never given no heads up that that's what this board wanted to do. Overall, all court, and that was just the court administration line item was decreased by 25% for projected. Overall, when you take into account all court functions, including magistrate, it was decreased by 12%. The reality is what the budget was that was passed decreased the court budget by 6.5% of what it is in 2022. That was done without any explanation, without any input from the court. And I don't know that any business, and that's what county government is, a business, can project that their expenses the next year are gonna be less than they were in the previous year. And yet, that's the budget we were faced with and were given.
It's not a budget meeting, but I will say this, that.
I was just picking up on some of the comments you made about the budget, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sure. But I know we were all rushed into this with no or very little time for the elected officials and the courts to really have any say within what grade people were placed. I know one of the things I was adamant about was trying to group more people together, which sure didn't happen, but it's a shame, yes, the money was put there for the budget, that amount as was presented originally, but there is nothing more really set aside for salaries as requested by our elected officials. I really am disappointed that this board, I don't wanna hear this excuse, the money's not there. Well, this board is the one that puts that money there, that makes that money available to retain the employees. If we lose some of our valued employees with more time, years, over 30 years in more cases, if we lose them, you're not gonna replace them for what you're getting them for now. Mr. Honor, you made the statement, you're ready to start tomorrow in fixing this problem. Can we fix it this year, before the end of June?
I would say yes. I mean, we can put it this way, we're gonna start the process. And first of all, somebody just can't come in and say, I want the job description changed. There has to be justification of that. You know what I mean? It's not everybody can make a mad rush and say, okay, I want everybody moved up because I do something a little different.
We're gonna commit to correcting this and doing something for our senior employees, our valued employees that have been here for a long time, because they are not replaceable like you think.
I never said they were, but I think it,
Well,
and like I
you don't
said,
want the comments, I don't wanna hear the comments, well, if you don't like it, there's the door.
I don't think I ever said that. So don't put
I don't
words
wanna
into
hear
my
it. I
mouth.
just said it.
Don't put
I
words
didn't
into
say
my
it.
mouth.
I said I don't wanna hear
But
that.
I'm
You said you
just
did.
saying, we're sitting here and I
Any
do
comments
value
before
our
we move
people.
on? Time to move on.
Yeah, let me go ahead
Fine.
and have my comments, and discussions don't end according to the parliamentary procedures until actual vote is made on any discussion. So I'll take my couple minutes here. Judge, thank you. I think you did a pretty good job of representing the study objectives, which were for internal equity, decreased pay equity between low and high earners, external equity, looking at peer organizations, target between the 45th and 55th percentile, and reducing pay grades and scales. So we measure the success of the study by its results, and what was accepted of that study. Evergreen was not aware that there was a $800,000 constraint or restraint when they were doing the study. What they did do is they recommended bring to a new minimum closest step, which was about $742,000, which didn't include a 5% retirement contribution from the county, nor did it take into account the FICA and Medicare, 6.2 and 1.45 for the Medicare respectively. We were presented 7 options from about $800,000 to $2.7 million. We chose, based upon the constraints, the restraints, and the objectives, the best option that was out there. And what did that result in? Not a 7.8% or so that Evergreen recommended. 335 adjustments with an average increase of 10.8%. Average increase of $2,191 per employee. Add another $110 for the retirement contribution the county is making. 190 plus positions increased over 7.1%, which is the most recent CPIU. Well over 200 positions greater than 5%. Non-supervisory increase, which was important to us, 12.3% increase. Supervisors increase on average 4.3. Minimum wage, and Commissioner Arner mentioned, $11.38 to $13 for non-supervisor minimum coming into a county position, which we knew was critical to get employees in here. Then supervisors from $13.41 to $16 minimum, right? We hit our target, the 45th percentile, desired market position. We significantly reduced both the grades and the scales. So I would argue it was successful. It wasn't perfect, but it was a successful salary study, and we took the best out of that study and have made a proposition or motions to implement that with the complement that we previously provided and the budget that was approved for salaries. Even Evergreen recognized that we had to implement an appeal and challenge process for possible misalignments of classifications and salaries. And all of us are committed to doing that. But I am committed to doing it when the dust settles. I'm not willing to start tomorrow, right? The dust needs to settle. We need to step back, take a breath, and then figure out a methodical way ahead to address reclassification, updating of positions. And I want to emphasize the important role that HR played in quality assurance and quality control, because we did get a good product, and we got a good product because of the 4 ladies down there who put in a tireless effort to bring it to realization. That's all I have.
You brought up about all the extra costs, FICA, insurances and all those extras, but yet you failed to put anything in the budget or increase the budget to cover salaries or any of those additional expenses. Let's move on.
So I think we had a motion and a second.
We do have a motion and a
Yes.
second. We'll call for the vote. Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
And this is for what?
For this whole exhibit,
For the J1 through 6 or
J1
the,
through J6.
for the J1 that was revised?
Yes.
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
no.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Okay, then I guess the easiest way of addressing this is to move through the positions line by line. And I'll first be addressing the positions on exhibit J1, which deals with law firms. I'm not sure if this board realizes this. I was only brought to my attention, I believe, a week or 2 ago by Ms. Arnold. Previously, the law clerks were compensated by an additional $100 a month, which was paid for by the bar. Apparently, about 2 years ago, the bar ceased paying that. I was unaware of that, but that was brought to my attention. So each of the law clerks was getting not only what they were getting under salary board determination, but an additional $1,200 a year. The proposed salaries for each of these positions submitted in the handout by the commissioners on December 8th is actually going to result in a decrease in the payment, total compensation, net compensation to each of the law clerks in this county. Again, I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but that's a reality. So I don't know exactly which positions. I mean, I know my overall motion for J1 through J6 failed, but I would then ask that with respect to the law clerks, that on J1, that they be compensated, one law clerk at a grade 12 step E, one law clerk at a grade 12 step C, and one law clerk at a grade 12 step E. I also want to indicate, so the board is aware of this, that the highest paid law clerk, who is currently the law clerk for Jerry's Surface, and that is Michael Hopscotch, will be leaving this month. And he is leaving because he's got another job, because to my knowledge, it pays more than what this county is paying law clerks. I also know that there was a recent article in statewide legal intelligentsia that said that it's become very difficult for trial courts to obtain law clerks. They don't give any specific explanation why that is, but it's a reality. I know that I've gone at times without a law clerk for over a year because we could not attract people here. I know that, I'm not sure the exact date, but perhaps 8 or 10 years ago, there was a survey done and the county commissioners had agreed to increase the salaries of law clerks to make it more comparable with other counties. And it seemed to work for a while. But right now, what I'm indicating to you is that what was suggested by the commissioners in the handout, if is what that's what passes, is going to actually result in a net reduction in payments to each of these law clerks in this county. And that's why I made the motion I have to establish their grades and steps at 12E, 12C, and 12B.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And then we have, next on J1 is a motion for 2 law clerks, which are temporary positions, at a grade 12, step A. I believe that is no change from what was suggested by the handout on December 8th.
And which one was this? The one?
It's 2 law clerks, and it says in parentheses temporarily. I'm going off of J1, Commissioner Honor.
Okay.
And my motion has been to establish those compensations at grade 12, step A.
Oh, you know what, I have you.
As I've indicated, I believe that's no change from what was handed out by the board in December 8th.
That's correct, it's the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I need a second to that.
Yeah.
A second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
And this was that, no change or something?
No change.
No change from what they handed out on December 8th.
It stays at a 12A, Commissioner Honor, at $40,458.60.
Okay. All right, yes.
Okay. Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next are the court reporters for the county, that I make a motion to approve their grades and steps in the order shown on Exhibit J1, and that would be a grade 10, and it's quote off the chart, off the scale, because the scale that the county adopted does not even include some of these positions, because they've been here so long. I believe this person has been here for 28 years. So it's a grade 10 step unknown, but an hourly rate of $35.84. Next one is, again, grade 10 step unknown at an hourly rate of $32.17 an hour. And next is a grade 10 step unknown for $31.38. Now, for these particular positions. The oldest is an individual who's been here for 28 years. The next court stenographer has been here for 15 years, and the most recent has been here for 1 year. Court stenographers, and you would not be aware of this because you have no reason to be aware of it. Court stenographers are extremely difficult for courts to get these days. They are in scarcity. I don't know why that is, but that's been the case for a number of years now. Courts are lucky to get court stenographers. Approximately 2 or 3 years ago, we lost one of our court stenographers to Berks County, who paid her, I believe, about $20,000 more a year than this county was offering. So these are, you need them to operate courts. Some counties are going with court monitors, which is not anywhere near as efficient or appropriate or accurate in terms of creating records as court stenographers are. Evergreen, in their study, when they made a comparison between what the actual wages are here in Hardin County for court stenographers versus the peer, they said we're 4.8% below the peer. So not only are we not keeping them up with, quote, inflationary rates or compensation, we're not keeping them on the peer level. And unfortunately, we will be at risk of losing them. For reasons that I'm not quite sure, the county decided to change the grade of court stenographers in the, I guess, handout that was given. The county decided to set the grade of the court stenographers, I believe, I gotta find this, at a grade 10. Evergreen had proposed they'd be at a grade 11. The court, in its proposal, is keeping them at a grade 10. So I believe the motion that's being made is appropriate and is a fair compensation rate for our court stenographers, and hopefully we won't lose them.
Question or for discussion, since they are at it in this scale, and since like in the district attorney's office, we have some set wages, like for the full-time DAs, et cetera. Would this be a position we should look at making a set salary with then compensated with additional years? You mean no?
They get paid for their transcripts, and if you set a salary, you have to incorporate that transcripts into the salary, and we never know how many transcripts or the amount of transcripts they're going to be giving out per calendar year.
So they're paid above
Yes,
this 10% increase that they're asking for?
yes, that
And
is
the
correct.
5% increase?
Almost every pay, there are transcripts that are submitted with payroll that could be as little as $100 to a couple $1,000 that are submitted based on transcripts that are requested and that are provided, and they charge a flat fee per page.
It varies from year to year. I mean, Dawn is correct. And I think each county handles it differently. I did not do a survey to see how many do it one way, do it versus another. To my knowledge, I mean, as long as I've been here in the county, they have gotten a transcript pay. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania had several years ago adopted what the compensation rate is for transcripts that will be put on bill to other people. And we follow that compensation rate, I believe. This is our intent to do so. And yes, so having that additional income through transcripts, which is unreliable, but it's significant. I mean, it helps. I'm not saying it doesn't help. But even with that, and that transcript rate was in there when Boston, before you guys talked about two or 3 years ago, because she was offered $20,000 more a year down in Berks County. That was taken into account when she was getting on transcripts.
I mean, continue to bring up Berks County as a red herring. The fact is, we don't compare ourselves to Berks County. So I would ask that in the future, we don't use that as a comparative because it's not comparable.
I'm not suggesting that we can compete with Berks County.
Right.
What I'm saying is that the vast disparity in which he was offering gives some significance as to how low we are in compensation. And I'm also saying that in the study done by Evergreen, they indicated that what we pay is 4.8% below the peers.
But they did say we were 20,000 below our peers. They said at the time we were 4.8.
That's what they said in there, 4.8, that's true.
4.8 of that salary doesn't equal $20,000. That's why I'm saying it's not a good comparison. It sounds good because it's a big number, but it's not a.
I'm not asking for an increase of 20,000 per stenographer, that's not what I'm saying.
No, but you're using that as your argument.
I'm using that in part to show that we are not paying necessarily as much as other counties are, and that it is very critical, I can say statewide, without hesitation, that counties' courts are having a very difficult time employing court stenographers. When we apply, when we have a vacancy, it takes us generally months before we can get someone, because they're not there. And it's a supply scarcity, it's a compensation diminishment. It's a combination, and they are very difficult to get, and that's just a reality. So I'm not sure if there's been a second, so I
No,
don't
there
think there has
hasn't.
been.
Is there a second?
I'm sorry, I'll second that. Is there,
And this comes out almost to $11,000 for 3 employees.
Plus their transcription.
Yeah.
Okay. Judge Nanovic,
Yes.
Mr. Severcek,
No.
Mr. Honor,
No.
Mr. Lukasevich,
No.
Mr. Notstein,
yes,
So then I'll take them in the order in which they appear by line item. So the first, I had asked for 35.84 an hour. I'll make a motion to approve that position at 34.97 an hour, which is again a 10 without a step, because all of these are off any scale you've adopted. And that's 2.5% below what the original motion was.
that was the motion.
Oh, that was a motion, yes, I'm sorry.
Second,
Judge Nanovic,
Yes.
Mr. Severcek,
No.
Mr. Honor,
No.
Mr. Lukasevich,
No.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
So we have to set compensation for these employees. So my next motion is to approve a salary for that position of $34.12 an hour, which is a grade 10, again, off the chart.
second,
Judge Nanovic,
Yes.
Mr. Severcek,
Yes.
Mr. Honor,
Where's he going to now? The 30?
34.12. They're all 2%, 2.5%, I believe, 2.5%
No.
addition. So this is 5% below what I originally moved.
No.
no. Mr. Lukasevich,
No.
So I believe that passed.
Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Notstein,
yes,
That passed 3-2.
yes.
So the next line position, I would move, I had previously moved for 32.17 an hour. I will now move for 31.38 an hour, which is 2.5% beneath what I had previously moved for.
second,
Judge Nanovic,
Yes.
Mr. Severcek,
Yes.
Mr. Honor,
No.
Mr. Lukasevich,
No.
Mr. Notstein.
yes,
And that is only ballpark, and I'm appreciative, Pat, but that is only ballpark about a 2.5% or less increase from what she is currently being paid. And as I've indicated, at a 7% inflation rate, that's a deduction in her salary of 6.5. So we're not even keeping up with that, unfortunately.
If that's, this discussion then, in discussion, the fact is from 2017 to 2021, Carbon County increased the rates of its employees' pay by 15%, whereas CPIU was 11.59. So that's a 3.41 salary increases beyond the CPI. So you can subtract that from your comments.
Well, again, Evergreen's own study said they are 4.8% beneath the peer. So notwithstanding those adjustments by the county in the past, it did not keep up with the peers. And that, I think, pretty evident from even Evergreen's study. Next, course stenographer, I had requested a motion at $31.38 an hour. 2.5% beneath that is $30.62 an hour, which is a grade 10. Again, step below because it's off the chart.
3062 appears to me to be aligned with what the Board of Commissioners proposed in its complement for those two certified court reporters.
Is that what you're asking for, 3062 or not?
But yeah, it's 2.5% beneath what I had originally moved for, and it takes us back to what the county had proposed, which again is a zero adjustment for what this person is making. They're getting nothing.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next three are the judicial secretaries for the judges in the county. And following along on J1 is my motion, I'm taking them as a group. The first one, lead judicial secretary, to move for approved compensation at grade 7, step O. Next is a grade 6, step P. And next is a grade 6, step L. And that's a motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'll take them one by one. For the lead judicial secretary, I would move for a salary at a grade 7, step N, which is $24.02 an hour. And I'll leave it at that for the moment.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
And I just want to have a brief discussion on that. I wanted to wait till you had a second on that.
Okay.
The county, in their proposal for judicial secretary, had, for reasons that are unclear to myself, had decided to place all of the judicial secretaries on the same grade, grade 6. Previously, under the old scales that were used by the county, the grades of the lead judicial secretary was one grade higher at 11 and the other two were at 10. Evergreen, in their study, had suggested that the lead judicial secretary be a grade 10 and the other two a grade 8. In other words, the lead judicial secretary was 2 grades higher. And that's quite simply because of the additional responsibilities that the lead judicial secretary has. So that's some of the input or reasons for my motion for the lead judicial secretary at a, I'll get back to where we are here, at a a grade 7 step in, $24.02 an hour. I think we were in discussion, so I guess we're ready to vote now?
Yes. Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next judicial secretary, the motion is to approve the compensation at a grade 6, step O, which comes to $23.44 an hour. And I will say as well, in complement of that motion, I want to make sure here we have, this is which one, Kelly? Okay, this would be Ms. Fetter. What we were proposing in my original motion would have been a 6.33% increase. This obviously is 2.5 beneath that, so we're now under 4% with that motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Okay. My next, the third judicial secretary, the motion is to set compensation at a grade 6, 6K, which equates to $21.64 an hour. The original motion would have given that person, I believe, and so much information here.
2124. It's 2124.
No, I,
You said 64. 2124.
okay, 21.24. But but the original motion would have been an 8.3% increase. This obviously takes it under 6%. So that's a motion for a grade 6, step K at 2124.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Now we're dealing with the administrative assistants, and again, I'll take them as a group. Again, in the order they appear on J1. So, first is a motion to set salary at a grade 5, step L. Next is grade 5, I. Grade 5, that looks like an L to me. I. First is the grade 5, step I. Next is the grade 5, step C. Next is the grade 5, step A.
Second.
And under discussion, I would note that this encompasses a position of Sherry Snyder, who I referred to earlier in my preliminary comments. All of the administrative assistants, with her exception, were set at a grade 5. For reasons, again, that are unclear to myself, in what was handed out by the commissioners on December 8th, they put her at a grade 3. She is the position I indicated who basically does the same type of work as the other two administrative assistants. I mean, I had confirmed that with the court administrator. I'm not sure why she's being given a grade 5. She also, from what I understand, and I don't know where this came from, but apparently she is a recent hire. She has only been here for about 6 months. And apparently when the amounts were recommended, there was no information even reviewed by Evergreen or perhaps anyone else before setting her at a grade 3. I think I'm accurate on saying that. So again, my motion is to set them all at a grade 5 at the various steps I've indicated, including her being upgraded from a grade 3 to a grade 5. And that is a motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So then I'll take them again in the order in which they appear on J1. The first administrative assessment would be to set compensation at a grade 5, step 8, which amounts to $18.78 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next for that position, since that did not pass, the motion is to approve compensation at a grade 5, step G, which equates to $18.32 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next administrative assistant, the motion is to approve compensation at a grade 5, step B, like in Boyd, which is $16.20 an hour, which will be probably about a 3% increase. The original motion had put it at 6.55%.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The third administrative assistant is obviously the most recent hire. I referred to her by name as Snyder. And the proposal is to compensate her at a grade 3, step A, which actually is the amount that was proposed by the county because there was no lower to go. I'm going to put her at grade 5, step A, which is the lowest you can get. This is a grade 3, step A, which will compensate her at $14.33 an hour, which is basically what a person walking the door, and a lot of these other secretary one positions are getting in magistrate offices.
So
But that's the motion.
clarification, so you originally had 1580 on yours, is that correct?
I did, yes,
Oh,
I did.
okay, all right, just making
So I
sure I'm
said,
tracking.
this is, and I said
Yep.
we can't go lower, so that was a 5A,
Mhm.
so this is taking it to a 3A.
I'll second that.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I called out of order here. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein
Yeah.
again, yes.
Next is the one summer law clerk position. The motion is to approve compensation at a grade 6, step A, which is no change from which was suggested by the county commissioners on December 8th.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
And this is establishing a,
The summer law clerk, and this is what was proposed by the
Okay.
county commissioners on December 8th.
that's what we have.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next under 6, tip staff, and the motion is to, if there are per diem employees, is to approve their compensation at $130 per day. This is no change from what was suggested by the county commissioners on December 8th.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next I'll go to J2, which is the court computer information systems. Neither of these positions that are on there are different than what was suggested by the handout of the commissioners on December 8th. So I'll make those motions together. I don't see why there should be any controversy or any disagreement. One is for the director, supervisory rate, grade 10, step A, and the IT specialist at a grade 7, step A, respectively, that's $24.82 an hour and $17.42 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next will be J3. And these are the different magistrate offices, office supervisors, as well as secretaries 1 and 2 in those positions. And just as a preliminary comment, this is, in part, this deals with the case I told you about where we're dealing with Secretary 1s. And here, what was proposed by the county commissioner for Secretary 1s, for the most part, for people who just walk in the door get $14.33 an hour, whereas people who have been here 3 and 6 years get $14.33 an hour also. And that appears to me to be internally unfair. There was also, I believe, in here, well, I guess we'll have to deal with them one by one. So what I'll do, I'm trying to make this as efficient and as expeditious as we can. So I guess I'll do them by magistrate offices, because maybe the best bet. So under Jim Thorpe, office supervisor, the motion is to approve a supervisory rate at a grade 2, step, is that an I or no?
That's aye.
I. Secretary 2, a grade 4, step G. Secretary 1, grade 3, step C, and grade 3, step D.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No. No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
I lost my track here. then, in Jim Thorpe, for the office supervisor, I would make a motion to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of grade 2, step H, which comes to $19.97 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For the Secretary 2 position in Jim Thorpe, the motion is for compensation at a grade 4, step F, which comes to $17.03 an hour, which is what the county had proposed.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the first Secretary 1 in Jim Thorpe. The motion is to approve her compensation at grade 3, step B, $14.69 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And she's been here 6 years, so the next motion is to basically give her the same pay as someone who's walking the door today, which is a grade 3, step A at $14.33 an hour, which, as I've indicated, I think is unfortunate, but there'll leave me no recourse but to go to the lowest rate.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next Secretary 1 in Jim Thorpe. Again, this takes her to $14.33 an hour. It's a grade 3, step A. She's been here for 3 years.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the position office supervisor in Palmerton. Go to the green.
No, you didn't make these initial ones.
Okay. So for office supervisor, the motion is to approve her at a supervisory rate of grade 2, step D, that's $18.09 an hour. That's a 3.55% increase from what she is currently receiving. That's a motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Abstain.
So for that position, then I would make a motion to approve her a supervisory rate of a grade 2, step C, $17.65 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
And that is with the scale, right?
Yep. Same as the.
Yes.
compliment that we did.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Abstain.
Next is Secretary 2 in Palmerton. The motion is to approve her compensation at a grade 4, step B, which would amount to a 3% increase. That's the motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
It's unfortunate because, as I've indicated at the outset, what's even happening here is these people are getting lower pay today than they had last year. And that's the result of what this board is doing. So I just want to emphasize that. Next, for that Secretary 2 position, again, without any alternative, the motion is to approve her compensation at grade 4, step A, which is $15.05 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the Office Supervisor 1 in Lansford. The motion is to approve her.
Skip one.
What did I- Oh, Secretary 1 in Palmerton. The motion is to approve her compensation at grade 3, step A, which is $14.86 from 33 an hour, which I believe is the same as what the county had proposed in their handout of December 8th.
Second that motion.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Now we're under Lansford, Office Supervisor 1. The motion is to approve compensation at supervisory rate grade 2, step O, amounts to 23 hours and 74 cents an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next, for that same position, the motion is to approve compensation at supervisory rate of a grade 2, step N, which is 23.16 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Secretary 2, right? So the motion for Secretary 2 in Lansford is to approve compensation at a grade 4, grade 4, and apparently it's off the chart, because this individual has been here for 36 years, and the increase is 4.87%. That's a motion.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So then the motion for that same position, Secretary 2 in Lansford, is to approve compensation at a grade 4. Again, there's no step because it's not on the chart. It equates to $22.50 an hour. And again, I remind you, she's been here for 36 years. And we're talking probably a 3% or less increase.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next in Lansford is the Secretary 1 position. The motion is to approve compensation at grade 3, step A, which is $14.33 an hour, which is what was, I guess, suggested by the commissioners in their handout. The person walks in the door, it's a 13.01% increase. That's the kind of inequities we're talking about.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Commissioner Arner, do you wanna, before I go ahead and vote, obviously it doesn't close until we're all done voting.
Well,
wanna
I'm
go-
just looking at all these and I think it's made out like we're not giving anybody any compensation here at all.
Right.
But some of these that are going up to that 14.33 are getting 90 cents or whatever. It's not like they're not getting anything.
So I just suggested having a 13.01% increase for that position. For other people who are here 3 and 6 years, we're getting far less.
And is this one comparable to the other ones or not?
Yeah, this one, if I recall, Commissioner Arner, these were assessed to be at a 3A, 14.33 based upon their classification.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I said this one is getting 14.33, whereas we had back in Jim Thorpe, 2 people here 3 and 6 years, we're getting 14.33. So there's no recognition of their years of service to this county.
I'll change it to yes for that, just for that. Yeah.
Well, that one is yes, that's what you guys handed out.
Yes, yes. And that was my mistake. I was looking, like, what's on the original agenda
Right.
is not what I'm looking at here. Like, the original agenda was sent out probably a couple weeks ago.
No, I think this is what you guys.
Yeah, I know,
on December 8th.
yeah, but like what I have on the agenda, what was on was a little bit different than what I had on the original.
I honestly
Yeah.
don't know what you have.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get you a corrected agenda?
No, I'm all right with that. It's just that one got mixed up because that was, and that's what it, like I said, that 1433 is people did get a raise through that. It's not like
No,
nobody,
I
Yeah.
made that in my motion, I made that.
yeah,
part of
that they
my
didn't
discussion.
get anything. Okay, I'm all right with that.
So now I believe we're under Weatherly.
Wait, you gotta finish the vote here.
Mr.
Yes.
Said I
Lukasevich,
wasn't-
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Okay, so we're under Weatherly now? Under Weatherly now, Ellen?
Yes.
Okay. Office Supervisor 1, the motion is to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of a grade 2, which amounts to $26.14. This person has been in working for this county for 33 years. That's the motion.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
So for that same position, Office Supervisor 1, the motion is to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of grade 2. Again, it's not on the chart. It amounts to $25.50 an hour.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Next is a Secretary 2 in Weatherly, to approve compensation at a grade 4, step B, which is $15.43 an hour.
second,
This position has been here for 6 years. But, thank you, you're in the second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Oh.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
So for the same position, the motion then is to approve compensation at a grade 4, step A, which is $15.05 an hour, which I believe is what was on the handout of December 8th.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Okay. Next is a Secretary 1 in Weatherly to approve compensation at grade 3, step G, which is $16.62 an hour.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
For that same position, since that failed, to approve compensation at grade 3, step F, which is $16.22 an hour.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
So I believe that motion passed, so I'm moving down to 2 Secretary 1s in Weatherly, and the motion is to approve them at a grade 3, step A, which is $14.33 an hour, which I believe is the same as what was in the Commissioner's handout of December 8th.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Now I'm at J4, which is adult probation. And first would be the chief adult probation officer. The motion is to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of grade 12, step Q, which is $40.62 an hour.
second,
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Next is to approve the compensation for that position at a grade, supervisory grade of 12, step P, which is $39.63 an hour, which I believe is the same as recommended by the commissioners on December 8th.
Second.
Discussion. Judge Nanovic, when the chief adult probation officer took his position, was he aware of the duties and responsibilities of his predecessor to synchronize and coordinate some of the drug treatment court activities?
He knew that his predecessor was overstretched and was taking very many positions, and there was no way he could do all the things his predecessor was doing. And his predecessor, as I say, was actually probably too thin for what he was doing. So yes, he was aware of some of the things his predecessor had done.
All right, because I was under the assumption that the salary that we originally set was for him included the understanding all other duties and responsibilities as assigned, which the precedent was set to manage that. And again, obviously, I'm setting something up for discussion later, but I
Sure,
just want to
I know
clarify.
exactly where you're going.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
And this is at this current salary, that's,
$39.63.
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
For the 3963, yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the administrative assistant, and the motion is to approve compensation at a grade 5, step A, which is $15.80 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And I know the vote's already been taken, but this is a position where the county, for some reason, had put this at a grade 3, whereas administrative assistants generally are a grade 5. So my next motion then is to approve the compensation for that position at a grade 3, step B, which is $14.69 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next position on J4 is an adult probation technician. The motion is to approve compensation at grade 4, step N, which is $20.75 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For that same position, the motion is made to award compensation at grade 4, step M, which is $20.24 an hour. These are 2.5 step decreases from what I originally made, so you know.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So I believe that was approved, so I'll go to the adult probation specialist. The motion is to approve compensation at grade 3, step A, which is $14.33 an hour. And I believe that may be the same as what was suggested by the county. No?
This one was to adjust it up to the 3.
Oh, I'm sorry,
They
okay.
suggested the 2.
Okay. So this is a specialist, and, okay, and Kelly, I'm glad she's here, because she reminds me, I don't want to misrepresent anything. The county has suggested at a grade 2, we're suggesting at a grade 3. Specialists being, I think at that level, being all given a grade 3 in general.
Second.
And what is the difference, I mean, of that being classified? Is that any advantage to the employee? I mean, it's still the same pay.
Well, generally a technician is a higher grade than a specialist, because a specialist is doing, I believe, primarily secretarial type work, clerical work, whereas a specialist is not only doing the paperwork, the managing of it, but is also doing filing of it, input of it, things of that nature. So there's generally a different grade differentiation between those two. And as I've indicated, you know, the county has suggested a grade 2. We were trying to keep all specialists at a grade 3, which is why my motion is what it is, a grade 3 step in.
But they were actually at.
But is there much difference between those two specials? I'm a little confused
Yeah, I
myself.
don't, that's
What
what,
do you mean between the two specialists?
Is that what we're talking about, the probation specialist right now?
Yeah, we're talking about a probation specialist, yes.
Versus the treatment court specialist that we'll get to in a few minutes?
Yeah, which is also, let me get here, these lines are hard to read. Which actually the county itself put out a grade 3, which is why we're suggesting specialist, and the next one, the adult probation treatment court specialist. The county has a grade 3. We thought the adult probation specialist should also be a grade 3. It's the same, it's not only the same name, but it's the same category of type of work. It's a specialist, which we're trying to keep them uniform at a grade 3.
There was a second, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there was,
Yeah.
yes. Are we done discussing? Okay, I'll call for the vote.
Okay.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Excuse me, what was that?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the adult probation treatment court specialist, to approve compensation at a grade 3 step A, which is $14.33 an hour, which again, I believe is the same as what was being recommended on the December 8th handout.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is the part-time sentencing guideline technician. The motion is to approve compensation at a grade 6, step D, which is $17.87 an hour. That is the exact same compensation that was approved by the salary board approximately 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is a grant position where the grant application requires pay of $18 an hour. We had this discussion when that grant came before the commissioners, and closest we could get to that, according to the scales I was given, was $17.87 an hour. I'm trying to keep it at $17.87 an hour, grade 6, step B. Again, for reasons that I don't really fully understand, because it's different than what was, the action was taken a few weeks ago. The county was to reduce it by 7.16%.
And just on discussion of that, I would agree with this, because I think here's one of the instances that we don't research enough to see what we should be putting in grants, what people should get paid. And if this was passed, I don't think we have any choice to do this in this situation. So I said there's so many things over this whole salary thing that isn't correct, and this is one of the things. And how can we go back on something we approved that's in a grant and now go back on it? Are there any repercussions if we would reduce it, the wage?
I don't know the answer. I mean, the grant was submitted saying these are the compensation rates that were given. The grant was approved with that understanding. The amount that's been approved previously is not even the $18 an hour, slightly less. But I think I was told at the time this was the closest we could get without going over the $18 an hour. But it was approved several weeks ago.
Second. After discussion.
I have no further discussion unless anyone else on the board does.
I don't know what to say. I mean, just want to vote on it, but
Okay,
I don't know if this is one of the things where our hands are tied, because we already committed, at a meeting. Are we reducing somebody's pay now? And is this one of the situations that it was done before the end of the year? Where does this fall in?
I mean, it was done before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just passed 3 days ago.
It is a vacant position. It's always one that could be readdressed if we feel we have a legal obligation to do $18 an hour. But no one has done that research. Just because we put in the grant application doesn't make it a legally binding contractual agreement to pay that amount. So I'd much prefer we vote no, let it at $16.59 as the study proposes, and then let the solicitor talk to the grant providing entity in regards to what our flexibility is in regards to.
And this could be brought up at the next board meeting, at the next
Well,
salary
I guess they
board.
can always be adjusted, but I don't know that this was in any study, as Commissioner Lukasevich just referred to, because this is a new position that was just created with a grant that was accepted by the county a few weeks ago. So I don't think it was an evergreen study. I don't know what study it might have been, totally unknown to me. Again, the application that was submitted for the grant was $18 an hour. The board literally, 2 or 3 weeks ago, approved $17.87 an hour. I don't know why 3 weeks would change that.
It's gonna be hard enough to fill this position, especially knowing that it might only be a temporary position to begin with. So I would suggest we all vote yes.
I think I made the motion, I don't know if there's been a second or not.
Yes, there's been a second. Okay, Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
I would say no, and this could be further discussion at another meeting.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
so now I believe we're under schedule J5, which is the juvenile court. And the motion for chief juvenile probation officer is the supervisory rate of grade 12, step J, which is $34.18 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
No. No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
same position, motion to approve compensation as supervisory rate of grade 12. I? I can't come in hard time with the I versus L's, $33.34 an hour, which I believe is what was on the handout of December 8th.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
next is juvenile court secretary 2, a motion to approve compensation at grade 4, step J, that's $18.79 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
next motion for that position then is to approve compensation at grade 4, step I, $18.34 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
next motion for that same position, juvenile court secretary 2, compensation at a grade 4, step H, $17.89 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
next is one clerical specialist in juvenile court, to approve compensation at grade 3, step A, $14.33 an hour, which again, I believe is the same as what was recommended on December 8th. which is the handout.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
next is, schedule J6, domestic relations. Oh, that was just reminding me that going back to J4. I'll go with J5, I had to make a motion to approve the on-call pay on J5 of primary $50 a day and backup $30 a day.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
and on adult probation, same thing, had to make a motion to approve on-call. Primary is $50 a day, backup is $30 a day.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes,
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
okay, next is domestic relations are on J6. First, position is domestic relations director. The motion is to approve, compensation of supervisory rate of grade 12, step G, which equates to $31.74 an hour. I would say, in support of this motion, that under the study that was done by Evergreen, peers for domestic relations are paid $33.25 an hour, which is 12.5 cents more than the current pay. The director, as I believe the board knows, basically 2/3 of pay is paid by 4G.
Yeah. As part of the discussion, I'll remind the board members that our target was the 45th percentile. That's all I have.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So then for director, I would move for approval supervisory rate grade 12, step F, $30.96 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next, for that same position, a motion to approve compensation supervisory rate grade 12, step E, $30.21 an hour.
Yes. Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next position in domestics is the domestic relations assistant director. The motion is to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of grade 9, step C, which is $24.84 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next, for that same position, the motion is to approve compensation at a supervisory rate of grade 9, step D, which is $24.23, which I think is the same on the December 8th handout of the county.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next motion is with respect to the intake officer 2, to approve compensation at a grade 11, step K, which is $27.11 an hour. This is reference to an employee who's been here for 34 years in that same position.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Same position, motion to approve compensation at a grade 11, step J, $26.45 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Same position, the motion is to approve compensation at a grade 11, step I, $25.80 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
No.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next, same position, a motion to approve compensation at a grade 11, step H, which is $25.17 an hour.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next is one administrative assistant. That's what I'm thinking. So I think I could combine these. One administrative assistant at $15.80 an hour is a grade 5, step A. 3 domestic relations specialists, 2, $15.05 an hour, a grade 4, step A. And 1 domestic relations specialist, a $14.33 an hour, grade 3, step A. Those are all the same as was suggested by the county commissioners on December 8th.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
So, next is the motion is to establish the position of one treatment court coordinator / grant manager at $18.99 per hour, courts are overseen by Judge Matika, as I believe the board knows. This includes both Veterans Court and Drug Court. Judge Matika has advised me that if this coordinator position is not created and approved, that both these courts will likely cease, that they cannot operate without the treatment court coordinator. He has told me that the coordinator position is required by the AOPC in order to function and be recognized as a treatment court, that the position is mandated by the Policy and Procedures Manual established by the court when the treatment court was established, that the coordinator is a required team member for purposes of many federal and state trainings. No team members may attend training without a coordinator. The treatment court cannot seek grants without a coordinator. That this position would oversee the overall operation of the treatment court, including other diversionary programs, and it would relieve the chief probation officer, which I know is what Commissioner Lucas Evers was getting at, of these duties. Previously, this was done in part encompassed by other things that the prior chief, Mr. Parsons, was doing, and as I indicated, he was overextended, and our current chief does not have the ability to take on this additional responsibility. So the motion is, as I said earlier, to approve the creation and compensation of a treatment court coordinator / court grant manager at $18.99 per hour, which is a step S, it's going to be a grade S for step B. That's effective as of January 3rd, as of today.
Second.
Discussion. So, someone, a treatment court coordinator to synchronize and coordinate the activities is essential. This position has not been properly classified by our HR department. It is clearly not a supervisory position, yet it is labeled as such. No indication I can find that that particular duty would require a full-time position. The existing adult probation office chief assumed the position knowing full well the duties and responsibilities of his predecessor. Setting of the salary that he was receiving was based upon one of those functions to include the coordinator for the DTC or the treatment court. Any grant manager, which is a significant part of this classification, should and must fall under the direct authority and supervision of the Board of Commissioners. That's all I have.
And would this position though be just the grant coordinator for the courts, for the treatment courts? Is that correct?
It's for the treatment courts and also a grant manager. I don't see why it would be under the commissioners. In fact, the person who would actually be immediately above this person supervising the court coordinator and grant manager would be Judge Matika, who is the person who the judge assigned to treatment courts. As I've indicated, Mr. Parsons spread himself too thin. I applaud every effort he made. I'm not trying to be critical of him, but he was all over the place, trying to accomplish as much as he could for this county. He's a very valued employee. I hated to see him go, but he took another position where he was offered much more lucrative compensation that our county could afford. Our current treatment court chief does not have the time and the ability to do this. He's indicated this, which is why we're asking this. I don't mean to be crying wolf, because that's not my intent, but I had an extensive discussion with Judge Matika about this, and he has assured me that if this position is not created and implemented, the specialty courts will cease in Carbon County. That includes veterans, that includes drug court. And again, I'm not trying to say you have to do this. I'm letting you know the full implications of not doing it. As far as supervision, Commissioner Lucas Evers is correct. This person is not necessarily directly supervising other court employees. However, he is supervising other probation officers who have been assigned to specialty courts. The direct supervision of those people under probation is of the chief probation officer, chief adult probation. But this person is supervising to some extent those people who have been assigned as probation officers to treatment court. This position is coordinating all the players, all the team members in treatment court, which is perhaps comparable, maybe not a technical supervisory of other employees, but but they're supervising, coordinating, I believe it's 10 other team members is what I've been advised.
We can make the argument that almost any position in Carbon County supervises based upon the definition you're using. But the fact is, that individual doesn't evaluate or have the authority to discipline people. He or she is not supervising. On the portion in regards to the court grant manager, I sat in meetings with Judge Matika, Judge Serafas, were present. They were hosted or managed by the public defender. Not once, when we were discussing a grant manager for the county, did the courts make the statement that the courts needed a grant manager just for the courts. So the need isn't there, or it would have been clearly articulated during those meetings. I'd be more than happy to go look at those minutes again, but I am very, very confident that statement was never made. And matter of fact, they seem to be very open to a grant manager that would serve the entire county. I also would find it hard to believe that within adult probation, there isn't an individual or individuals who have sufficient bandwidth available where they could not assume the responsibility of a synchronizer and a coordinator of treatment court activities. It's just unrealistic to think that bandwidth is not available in one person in that office.
Well, I think we've had repeated discussions on salary board meetings about the need for additional staff in adult probation, that they're overworked. We get audited by the state, I believe, annually. They told us that our ratio of parole officers, probation officers, to the people who are being supervised are multiples of what is recommended by the state. They are understaffed the way it is. To say they don't have they do have the bandwidth, I think is not being realistic of the volume of cases they are supervising. I think we repeatedly told you that when we're a sixth-class county, we do the volume of a fifth-class county in terms of criminal work and oversight. The grant manager we're talking about, I was not in attendance at any of the meetings Commissioner Lukasevich is referring to, so I'm not contradicting him. But I will tell you that I had a very direct, lengthy conversation with Judge Matika about this position, about the critical necessity for this position, that the grant manager would write grants for treatment court. Currently, the county is receiving certain grants for treatment court, which are going to expire if they haven't already expired. So that grant funding will cease without a court coordinator. And this grant manager would also file other grants for other positions for the courts if grants were available. So I only relay on, because I rely upon Judge Matika, who has, I think these treatment courts have been in sight for 3 to 5 years, I think it is, for the positions. My understanding is they are doing well, that people who go through them are doing well. I've heard compliments from people who have been in attendance at how well it is received, and I hate to see it die, but that is what I'm told will happen if we cannot have this treatment court coordinator.
I'll direct the public to the Bible in Genesis. The word begat, and that's what happens with grants, right? And we've seen it here recently. A grant was accepted, and now we have 2.5 new employees in perpetuity. So as we talk about additional grants, the public has to recognize there comes a tax burden with each grant. Don't be fooled into thinking that simply because it's a grant, one, you're not already paying for it because your tax money is that grant money. And then secondly, you're gonna see additional duties and responsibilities that the courts or others are gonna say require more manpower, more resources, because they're already taxed. So how can you be asking for more? It doesn't pass the common sense test.
Well, I think part of the thing that has to be considered is what is the purpose of treatment court? How are people selected to basically be given the benefit of treatment court? They're evaluated before they can even get into treatment court. I'm referring to both veterans and drug courts. And they're evaluated to see what their past has been, what their evictions are, to see whether they are suitable candidates for treatment court. If they are, they go into treatment court. My understanding is that the recidivism rate of individuals who have gone to treatment court and successfully completed it is much less than the ordinary person who is out there. So the question is, do treatment courts have a value, which I think is in part what Commissioner Lukasevich is getting at. And if they do, and quite honestly, from again what Judge Matika has told me, treatment courts are probably the best form of treatment we have in this county. They're not getting the equivalent treatment at the prison, and they're not getting treatment elsewhere. So treatment courts are important. It's been the impetus of AOPC for a number of years to encourage counties to adopt treatment courts. We were one of the few counties who were later on the bandwagon to actually adopt treatment courts. Others were out there 10 years ago or more. We've only been there 3 or 4 years. So I know Judge Matisse is dedicated to treatment courts and has put a lot of time and effort into it, and he wants to see it continue.
Judge Nanovic, you misrepresent what I said. I never stated that drug treatment courts, did I even come close to implying that they didn't have value. Matter of fact, for the last 3 years, I know no commissioner who spent more time in the treatment courts. No one. So obviously I see the value, I recognize the value of that. So I take offense to your misrepresentation of my comments.
I'm not sure what I misrepresented. But
What
again,
you said, I did
apologize.
not, I was implying or stating I did not see value in drug treatment courts.
No, I
When
didn't.
that was not, the record clearly shows what you stated. So again, I'm defending myself because it was a misrepresentation of what I said. So for the record, I'm clarifying. That's not what I said. I made my point clear. I see the value in them. My issue is, first and foremost, that one, I believe it can be absorbed. I do not believe a full-time treatment court coordinator is necessary. And I also disagree with including as part of this, just to simply justify the position, that a court-specific grant manager is necessary. The demand, the workload is not there. Sure, you can build it and create it. You can create the workload. Everyone will fill their available space with work if they're hired. But again, it doesn't mean it's needed. It simply would become a want.
And I think where I've been at, I've been in on some of these meetings, and since I've been here, I was always looking for a grant writer. And I thought in the discussions that we were trying to get a county grant writer that would help every department. And now we're adding one for just one department. I mean, I don't, and when I was under the discussion before, and I don't know if Paul was involved in it or some of the meetings, and I thought we were going in the direction to get a grant writer for the entire county. Now here we sit one position, I don't know what it's gonna do. And to throw it up that it's pertinent to the drug courts, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to get to the drug courts. Putting people at places where they gotta be, or whatever kind of training or what they have. I just don't see this position, how is one position gonna help the whole county like what we were looking for?
Well,
And
I don't mean to interrupt you, go ahead.
And I think the impression, you look at, say if we need positions or grants for 27 departments, each one could have 2 to 3 that each department would say, okay, this is what I would like, okay? So that's 50 to 60 grants. Are we gonna get 50 to 60 grants for treatment court? I don't know. And there are some grants that are ongoing. I think what we need a grant writer for is to search for the overall county, that it will help drug court. It will help domestics. It will help all of them, not just the one specific area. I don't know.
So I don't necessarily disagree with
Yeah.
having a countywide
Yeah.
grant writer. I think that's something that should be pursued by the county. I think they should have done it by now. The reality is, it hasn't occurred yet. And the reality is that treatment court gets funded by grants in part, which are now dying or expiring. That source of revenue is leaving us. I suspect there are other grants out there that can be obtained for treatment court, which is what this treatment court coordinator will be pursuing. It may well be that if at some point in the future the county gets a general grant writer for all offices in the county, that this would have to be revisited. As I think the board knows, salary board positions can be restructured in the future. Right now, we're proposing this to get grants to keep treatment court alive. I think what I said earlier is that in evaluating the importance of this position, part of the evaluation is the importance of treatment courts. and that's important, that they are beneficial. I don't think, and the record will be what the record is, that I pointed at Commissioner Lukasevich and said he is not in favor of treatment courts. I don't believe I ever said that. I said treatment courts are valuable, and I think, again, from what I'm being told by Judge Matika, if we cannot get this position, we're gonna lose our treatment courts in this county. And we gotta deal with what we have now, not with what we may have in the future.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The next motion is under Court Computer Information Systems to establish the position of one IT specialist at $17.42 per hour, grade 7, step A, which will be effective as of January 3rd. As I'm sure the salary board knows, the current court IT department has 2 employees, Becky, who's the chief supervisor, and one other which actually is vacant because the person who had occupied that position got offered a better position because of pay. And we've been advertising to get that position filled. I think we have actually an interview tomorrow, if I recall correctly. So we have 2 people there. We're asking to have another IT specialist in that department, in part because Becky supervises not only court operations, but non-court operations. So she does things in the clerk of courts, in the depositories, in the sheriff's office. Also with the advent of COVID, there's been more Zoom and video conferences in court, which requires more technicians to set things up. So the motion is to establish an additional, which is one additional IT specialist at $17.42 an hour, grade 7, step A. So it appears as though there's no second.
Second.
Discussion. Dawn, has this position been classified by HR?
Well, there already exists a position that's similar, so it's a duplicate of a position that already exists in court computer.
It's identical to the compensation level is identical to the one that's vacant right
And
now.
it's an identical position to what they already have established.
So 4 county fall under the IT department of the Board of Commissioners. 4 individuals, 4 positions serve 21 departments, 300 individuals versus 2 individuals serving 60, 70 individuals in courts. Where are the court's numbers for personnel?
82 people.
82? No, I'm just trying to draw number comparison of technicians to individuals needing IT services. Okay, thanks.
So I think the demand is there, the need there is there. Like I say, she's not only overseeing court functions, but also non-court functions. But anyway, there's been a motion and a second, so I would think we should take the vote unless there's further discussion that.
No, and I think we had discussion on combining both ITs or trying to do
There was
something.
some suggestion.
And, I mean, I see the need for it. Not that I'm in agreement with adding another position, but I think if this position is added, there has to be some kind of agreement, because I know there's discussion between the sheriff and everybody else who's in charge of the IT for everybody. So if this is passed, are we gonna move forward and try to straighten all this out?
I think we've been trying to do that for over a year. My recollection is, and
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, my recollection is wrong, is that Becky has been doing the sheriff's work for several years. I think over a year ago, we had this discussion that she doesn't have the manpower in her office to do all these things. And we were promised, I believe, that the county IT department would take that over and do that for the sheriffs. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened, and more than a year has passed. And so, again, we've offered for a number of years, or excuse me, we've requested for a number of years that we give an additional IT personnel in that office so she can fully do her function.
Okay, call for the vote. Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
My final motion, I think,
You're out of time.
Yeah, sorry, we got a recess.
This would be a non-controversial, well, it's not completely non-controversial, I should hesitate when I say that. But it is to set the positions and salaries covered by bargaining unit at the court-appointed professional employee union as per Exhibit C, effective January 1st, 2023, with one adjustment, and that is I'm deleting from that motion, if I can see Exhibit C, where the heck it go. I'm deleting the reference to the reentry specialist, which I had previously, I know when that position was approved back on January 6, 2020. I've seen the minutes of the meeting, so I'm not disagreeing with this. It was for a 3-year period. It's to expire on January 5th of this year, 2 days from now. And I know when that came up, I think Commissioner Arner had made the motion to terminate it as of January 3rd. I voted against it. I stated the reasons at that time. I wasn't sure if that was consistent with the grant or if that would create grievance issues. So I'm not including that in my motion. I mean, that can be a separate motion by someone else. But I don't want to include, I want to be consistent with what I've done in the past. So my motion is to basically approve Exhibit C1, omitting the reference to the reentry specialist.
Have a second?
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And I would think there's going to be another motion from one of you with respect to the reentry specialist. But that's up to you. I think there's value to the reentry specialist as well, and I've said that in the past. I know we did pre-trial services previously with the grant, and we have, 2 additional probation officers under the grant, as well as the guideline part-timer. But I am fully aware of what action has been previously taken, so in fact, that's gonna go to the wayside, but I'm not gonna vote for it.
Is there any urgency that we do it today, or can it be done possibly?
My belief is, Mr. Chairman, is that it's gonna expire both by the terms of when it was created. That's why, one of the reasons I didn't vote in favor of Commissioner Arner, as well as by the motion that Commissioner Arner made a few weeks ago to terminate it as of this January. I think it's dead, quite honestly.
Yeah, and my thoughts on this, I mean, I see the Carbon Monroe Pike, drug and alcohol, and connect it with our county. I think somewhere along the line, it has to go in a different direction. People are being helped, and I know I talked to Paul a lot about it, and I'm not, this position for me doesn't work for me. There are other ways of re-entry, and I think if there is a position created, we ought to have it to our county, not to other counties. So I don't,
I thought this position was specific to Carbon County.
well, it is, but is it actually working? I mean, it was vacated, it was let go for 6 months, and then somebody was hired and then they quit. So these are one of the things that, if it would be established as the same position, maybe we should evaluate that, and what would the job description be for that? Like I said, I just see it, something has to be changed here.
I'm not
and
arguing
I'm-
with you, I'm just saying,
yeah,
I think the decision was made
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
And I don't see why it was even on Schedule C,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to be consistent with my
Yeah, I know,
past actions.
exactly. And I'm not giving up on that idea, but I don't think today's the time to do it.
So anything else for the salary board involving the courts? So thank you very much for your time. I'm glad you took me first, otherwise I probably would have gone over 2 days. I apologize for all the other officials who are here,
I know one thing, I'm taking a
and I
slight.
appreciate giving me the courtesy of discussion. I really do.
1 second.
Go ahead. I can listen.
What I would, I guess what we should do at this particular time, it's 4:30 already, after 4:30. We aren't gonna get finished this evening the way it's going. I would recommend we recess till 9 AM tomorrow morning.
I cannot be present at 9 AM, not before 10 AM due to other obligations.
And just to clarify, it's not a recess, you would actually be adjourning to. You're not adjourning the meeting itself, but you're adjourning to a date and time certain. So just to be clear.
So,
So what time would you be?
10 o'clock.
I'm fine.
How about the elected officials? So we would have to adjourn.
Yes, we'll need a motion to adjourn to a date and time certain.
So what's the issue with advertising?
There's no need to re-advertise.
So we're okay with
Yes,
not
yes,
advertising
as-
for,
as long as it's done
Okay.
on the record here, that's
What about the commissioners meeting then? Same thing.
likewise, if you wanna make both motions together.
The commissioners' meeting isn't opened until salary board is.
okay.
So then motion to adjourn until Wednesday, January 4th at 10 AM prevailing time.
Got a motion then?
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, motion to adjourn the commissioners meeting till after the completion of the salary board. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
No.
Or whatever, is he making, I think we do
I
both of them.
don't think it's strictly
We did both
necessary,
of them.
because
Yeah.
as she said, it was never
Yeah,
open.
it has to.
Never open.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I guess technically the commissioners meeting, well, I don't know, I don't wanna, like, no, it didn't happen. Okay, I'm sorry, the commissioners meeting did not happen.